Hello students, welcome to the class. In this class, we'll start with the first unit of inorganic chemistry. As per NCERT syllabus, it is unit number 6 and the first unit in the branch inorganic chemistry. The unit is General Principles and Processes of Isolation of Elements. General Principles and Processes of Isolation of Elements. So the unit can be given as metallurgy. So what exactly in terms of metallurgy and all, with few introduction information and definition terms, we'll try to learn. So it is general principles and processes of isolation of elements. A very important unit in understanding how the elements are extracted from the earth crust. What are the techniques used in the process of extractions, and what are the methods in which they are purified to get in the final form. So all those techniques involved in the extraction of elements we are going to learn in the unit. So as per the extraction of elements is considered, so any type of elements, it is metals, non-metals and all, so it is considered under the branch metallurgy. But as metals are economically important, so the branch is named as metallurgy. So we'll try to learn that in detail now. Before going to the unit concepts, we'll give the weightage of unit for the PU board exam. The unit is having 5 hours of teaching and has 4 marks for the final exam. It's a 4 marks weightage unit. As the unit is having one mark question, so you need to concentrate the unit with much importance and interest to learn. You should not leave any single concept in the unit to score 1 mark. And one 3 mark question will be asked from the unit. One 1 mark question and one 3 mark question. So totally it is 4 marks for the final exam paper. If you consider the part C in the final exam paper, so which will be asked only from the inorganic chemistry units. So they are the question number 19, that is the first question in the part C main, so will be from the unit general principles of isolation of elements. So we'll discuss later what are all the question paper patterns and how the questions are segregated in it. So now to give the significance of the unit, so it is having 4 marks weightage. As the unit is 1 mark weightage unit, so try to focus all the concepts. So give importance to understand the concepts first, then try to read the NCERT textbook to complete your preparation. Don't leave any single concept. So focus on the entire unit concepts, so from the NCERT syllabus. Now with this basic introduction information, so we'll go for the introduction of the unit. As we all know, isolation of elements or extraction of elements, we are much concentrating with the branch metallurgy. How exactly the branch is defined, so to give the significance of that, we learn few important definition terms or metallurgical terms used in the process. Then we'll define the branch metallurgy. So we need to understand what is a mineral, what is a ore, and what is a gangue in terms of metallurgical terms. So majority of the terms have already familiarized, so try to recall the concepts. We'll try to give them in exact definition terms. Now they are interrelated, So to understand the concept, we need to know them very clearly. So we'll concentrate first with what is a mineral. You can recall the concept. Any naturally occurring chemical substance in the earth crust, which is extracted through a process of mining, so then that is referred to as mineral. So minerals can be considered as any naturally occurring chemical substances in earth crust. So whatever the naturally occurring chemical substances in the earth crust and are extracted by a process of mining is called as a mineral. So this is the exact definition for the word mineral in the metallurgy. So mineral may be any naturally occurring chemical substance which is present in earth crust, and that chemical substance from the earth crust is extracted through a process of mining. So such a chemical substance isolated from the earth crust or extracted from the earth crust through a process of mining is referred to as mineral. So hope what is a mineral is clear now. Then if we concentrate mineral, so the entire mineral will not contain the desired element for our extraction. So whatever the portion of the mineral, so or the part of the mineral, so from which you are going to extract the elements economically, then that part of the mineral is called as ore. So hence ore is defined as a part of mineral from which the desired element or metal can be extracted economically. So remaining that whatever the unwanted impurities present, that is undesired earthy impurities associated with the desired metal, so we are calling as gangue. I will try to consider the ore now. Ore is the part of mineral from which the desired element or metal is extracted economically. It is with the expenditure in the process involved for the isolation of elements. So if we think with the feasible aspects of economical factors, now that part of the mineral, so from which the metals can be isolated economically, so that part of the mineral is called as ore. Hence ore is the part of a mineral from which the desired elements or metals can be extracted economically. Hope that is clear now. So we'll consider the third one, it is gangue. Now undesired or earthy impurities in ore along with the desired element is referred to as gangue. So gangue is referred to as unwanted or undesired or earthy impurities present or associated with ore during its extraction. So hence, so whatever the chemical substance to extract, we need to know that chemical substance extracted through a process of mining is called as a mineral. From the mineral, the part of it is considered as ore, which is economically preferred for its extraction. So during its extraction, it may associated with undesired earthy impurities. Those are referred to as gangue particles. Now, if you know these three important things, now you can give what exactly the branch metallurgy deals with. Hope the three information is clear. Now we'll try to understand and we'll define the branch metallurgy. The branch of chemistry, so which is defined in terms of it. So whatever the complete scientific and technological processes involved in the extraction of elements is defined as metallurgy. Hence, so metallurgy is defined as the branch of chemistry which deals with all the scientific and technological processes involved in the extraction of metals or elements from the earth crust. So this is a proper definition regarding the branch metallurgy. So where we are going to learn the general principles and the processes involved in the isolation of elements. So metallurgy is defined as the branch of chemistry which deals with all the scientific and technological processes involved in the extraction of elements or metals. So with this basic information, now we'll try to understand what are the steps involved in metallurgical operation. So after learning that under the introduction, now we'll go for the occurrence of elements or metals. So we'll consider now what are the steps involved in such metallurgical operation. Hope this is clear. Now we'll try to understand the steps involved in metallurgical operation. Metallurgical process or metallurgical operation. Now the steps involved are broadly classified into three main steps. The first one is concentration of ore. The first step involved in metallurgical process or metallurgical operation is concentration of ore. The second step is from the concentrated ore, you are going to isolate the metal. That is isolation of elements or metals from concentrated ore. And the third step and the final one, it is purification of isolated metal or elements from the second step. Now, these are the three main steps what we are going to see in any metallurgical process. In the unit, we are going to discuss these three steps in detail. By taking few important examples, we are understanding the steps. So we'll consider the steps again. The first step in any metallurgical process is a concentration of ore. Now, what is concentration? So in detail, we'll discuss later. Just to give the significance, we'll give few points to remember here. Now, already we discussed ore is a part of the mineral, so from which the desired element is extracted economically. And we have explained with respect to gangue. So rarely the ore contains only desired elements. That means you cannot expect only the desired element present in the ore. So hence, whatever that undesired elements associated or earthy impurities associated with the metal or the element which you are desiring to extract, right? Such a gangue particles, if you remove from the ore, isolated ore, then the process is called as concentration of ore. So you are making the concentration of ore to increase by removing the gangue particles from it. So with the removal of gangue particles, you are making the ore concentration to increase. So that is the first step. Once you make the removal of impurities or gangue particles from the ore, so you take that concentrated ore, and from the ore you need to isolate the elements. That will be our second step in the metallurgical process. So from the concentrated ore, the isolation of elements is considered. It is generally done in two ways. So first, the elements are converted into their oxide form, then their oxides are reduced to get the metal back. That we'll discuss in detail with isolation of elements. Isolation of elements will involve two steps: converting them into oxides. Why they are converted into oxide, what is the significance in the conversion to oxide, we'll learn in detail. Then from their oxide, so we are going to reduce that to obtain the metal back. That we'll try to observe it in detail in the second step, and we are discussing in the unit. And the last step, whatever you have considered in the isolation of the metals, you cannot expect only the desired metal is present. So some impurities in trace quantity at least, they left in the isolated metal. Hence, whatever the final purification step you have to remove the associated impurities and to get the metal or element in its purest form is done in the third step, that is the purification of isolated metals or elements. So in brief, it is concentrating the ore with the removal of gangue particles, isolating the metal from the concentrated ore, and purifying the respective isolated metal or elements. So these are the steps what we are going to see in any metallurgical processes. Here lot of chemical principles will be involved and understanding of the significance will be there. So try to focus. So before going to that, the entire idea so should be there, how exactly the metallurgical process will proceed. Hope the steps are clear now. Now we'll try to go in understanding few important elements, especially we'll discuss with four metals and their occurrence. That is in the earth crust. So what are those important ores of such metals we'll try to discuss. So that we'll try to continue now with our second concept, that is occurrence of metals. We'll discuss with the occurrence of elements in the earth crust. That is the most important elements we'll try to discuss. Then we'll give the significance of the metals given in the syllabus. Now, try to remember the first and the most abundant element in earth crust. Hope everyone knows this information. So it is the first most abundant element in earth crust. So we are discussing the element. It may be a metal or not metal. So which is present in the most abundant form with respect to mass composition in the earth crust. If we analyze, So it is, hope everyone knows this, it is oxygen. Oxygen is the most abundant element in the earth crust. We know that oxygen is a non-metal. The most abundant element in the earth crust is a non-metal, that is oxygen. So if we consider the second most abundant element in the earth crust is silica. It is a sand particle. Silica is the most abundant form of an element. Element, if we consider, we'll consider the element silicon. So silicon is again a non-metal. So which is the second most abundant element in the earth crust. Then if we observe the third most abundant element, that is aluminium, which is a metal. The most abundant metal in the earth crust, it is aluminium, which is the first most abundant metal. And with the occurrence of all the elements, it is the third most abundant element in the earth crust. But in the metals, it is the most abundant element. If we consider the second most abundant metal, so it is iron. So iron is the second most abundant metal. So approximately, so it is 4.7% by mass of the earth crust. So is the metal iron. If we consider aluminium, it is approximately 8.3% by mass of the earth crust. So percentage varies slightly, but you can concentrate on their occurrence and their abundance. So hope this will be clear. To recall few simple things, you can expect one more question with respect to metals based on their occurrence. The most abundant element is oxygen, second most is silicon, third most is aluminium, which is the metal. Then the fourth, that is the second most abundant metal, so it will be iron. So with this information, so we'll try to consider the important ores of four metals. So it is aluminium, iron, copper and zinc. For these four metals, we'll try to discuss what are their important ores. Again, the composition of ore and name of the ore for these four metals is important one mark question. Try to practice to remember. So we'll try to learn now. We'll discuss with the important ores of the metals. First, we'll concentrate on aluminium. The important ores and its composition. We'll discuss first with aluminium. So we have two important ores of aluminium. One is bauxite and the second one kaolinite. So it is bauxite and kaolinite are the two important ores of aluminium. So if we observe their composition, you need to remember the name of ore as well as composition. Give importance to remember that. So bauxite is, it is also known as corundum or alumina, which is the most abundant ore of aluminium. It is Al2O3 XH2. It is X moles of water in their hydrated form. The aluminium oxide, so will be the composition of bauxite. So it is Al2O3 XH2O. Now kaolinite, if you observe, The composition of kaolinite is Al2OH4 times Si2O5. Now these are the two important ores of aluminium. One is bauxite Al2O3XH2O, which is also called as corundum or alumina. Then the second one, kaolinite, again an important ore of aluminium, but the most abundant form of aluminium is bauxite ore. So kaolinite composition is, it is Al2OH4 times Si2O5. Now this is with respect to the first metal what we have. Second, we have with respect to iron. The important ores of iron, if we consider, there are four important ores. It is hematite, magnetite, siderite, and iron pyrites. So iron pyrite is sulfide ore of iron. We'll try to consider. The four important ores of iron are hematite, magnetite, siderite, and iron pyrites. Now we'll try to learn the composition of these ores. Hematite is Fe2O3. Magnetite is Fe3O4. Both are oxide ores of iron. With oxygen, the two ores are present. So, but the oxidation state of iron is different. Fe2O3 and Fe3O4. Siderite is the carbonate ore of iron. It is FeCO3, where iron is present with +2 oxidation state. Then iron pyrites is a sulfide ore of iron. It is FeS2. The only sulfide ore of iron is iron pyrites. So these are the four important ores of iron. So remember the names as well as practice to give its compositions. Hematite Fe2O3, magnetite Fe3O4, siderite, it is iron carbonate FeCO3, and iron pyrites, it is FeS2. Now we'll move on to the next two metals. So copper and zinc. We'll discuss with the third metal. It is copper. The important ores of copper are, it is copper pyrites. We have seen with iron pyrites the similar composition, but along with copper it will be there. Then malachite is copper pyrites, malachite. Then we have one more, it is copper glans. So these are the three important ores of copper: copper pyrites, malachite, and copper glans. So copper pyrites is, we know that iron pyrites is FeS2. So copper pyrites is CuFeS2. So this is the ore of copper which contains sulfide along with iron in it. Malachite is a combination of two compounds. It is a carbonate form of copper and hydroxide form. It is CuCO3 and CuOH twice in a mixture. So is the composition of malachite. It is copper carbonate and copper hydroxide. And the last one and very important ore of copper, the most abundant ore of copper, it is copper glans. The only sulfide ore of copper, that is only copper and sulfur is present in this ore, whereas in the copper pyrites along with iron it is present, again can be taken as sulfide ore of copper but in association with iron. But here it is a only sulfide ore, so it is along with copper only sulfur is present. It is the most abundant ore of copper, it is Cu2S. So these are the three important ores of copper. Copper pyrites, CuFeS2. Malachite, it is CuCO3, CuOH twice. Then copper glance, it is Cu2. Yes. So with this, we'll continue with the last one. It is zinc. That is zinc have again three important ores. All are important. It's easy to remember. We can concentrate. It is zinc blend, which is with sulfur. It is ZnS. Calamine, which is the carbonate ore of zinc. Zinzite, the last one, which is the oxide ore of zinc. Zinc blend is sulfide ore, it is ZnS. Calamine is carbonate ore of zinc, it is ZnCO3. Zinzite is oxide of zinc, zinc oxide, ZnO. So these are the three important ores of zinc: zinc blood, ZnS, calamine, zinc carbonate, zinzite, it is zinc oxide. So these are the ores what we need to remember as per the NCERT syllabus. So practice all the four metals and their important ores with the composition. So with this, we'll go for understanding the first step in metallurgical process, that is the concentration of ore.